The following podcast contains some strong language and some very average opinions. Any references to actual people are wildly inaccurate. It's probably best if you don't listen at all. The Roaring Peacock Podcast. Welcome back to the Roaring Peacock Podcast. This is the match preview between Leeds United, greatest team in the world, and Manchester United, aka Scum, aka the fucking most horrible team in the world. My name is Adonis. You know me as the Adelites on Twitter, and joining us today in place of Riot Badger, who is irreplaceable, let's face it, but Cookie's going to give it a go. So, hello, Cookie.
I'll try my best. Hello.
And last and least, it's Ewan from Red Voices.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are we?
I'm good, thank you, mate. Good. I am good. We've been waiting for this quite some time.
Indeed, yeah.
Absolutely.
So,
what, for relevancy, or?
Oh, he's trying already.
I'm going in for it. Look, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down flying. It's fine.
Shots fired. Okay, so first question, Ewan.
Yeah.
Do you think being a cunt makes people support the scum, or does supporting the scum turn you into a cunt?
God, it's an excellent question to start off the night with, and a real thinker. Can I come back to that one, and I'll try and see if I've got a more formed answer for you a little bit later on?
Yep. Okay, second question. When did you first realise scum aren't your local team? And which part of London are you from?
I'm actually from South Wales, so, you know, and that's not quite as bad, I guess. I mean, United and Liverpool have actually got quite big followings down there, so I'll stick with that. I mean, I have actually been to Old Trafford, so that helps. I know the large chunk of London perhaps hasn't got that string to add to their bow. But
I can't tell if you're taking the piss. Are you actually from South Wales?
Yeah. I
mean, I suppose, are you talking Australia here or actual in Britain?
Actual
New South
dark
Wales.
South Wales, not the nice new one, the older one,
Okay.
the shittier one.
So what made you support Manchester United?
I can't ask a 7-8-year-old myself that question at this exact stage. So, I mean, let's just be quite frank. It was probably because we were winning stuff at the time. So, you know, I mean, there's no point getting around it. I could say, do you know what? I was really drawn by the way they played football. I was 7 or 8 years old. I don't know what on earth good football looked like back then. They were scoring goals, and that was pretty nice. So I thought, yeah, I'll have a bit of that. Fair enough.
That's okay, mate. You're only alongside all the other Man United fans as a glory supporter.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
You're being far too nice here, you, and I'm starting to feel sorry for you.
Yeah,
this isn't supposed to be how it should go.
No. I mean, this is all down to your research. You probably should have listened to this nice podcast that we do, where basically we're just very cordial to each other, and you've got completely the wrong banter merchant for this.
You're literally the only scummer who got back to us who wasn't complete idiot.
Great. So, wow, that makes me feel wonderful. So I was the poor sap who decided, yeah, I'll give this a try. Fantastic.
Exactly it, mate.
Yeah.
Well
awesome.
done.
Appreciate that.
What are your memories of the rivalry?
Do you know, one of my favourite memories of this is thinking back to someone I was seeing several years ago who was a Leeds fan. Once she found out I was a United fan, there was... I think she genuinely had to think about whether or not she was going to continue even talking to me, let alone seeing me. So that was quite fun. Very much enjoyed that. And her best friend is a big Leeds fan as well. So the first thing that he told her as soon as he heard I was a United fan was just basically to call me a United cunt and just shout Jermaine Beckford at me. So, you know. Fair play to him. Can't remember if I'm completely making this up, but we played you in the League Cup like 5 or 6 years ago. Is that right? I feel like that's possible. But either way, the last game I can really remember is the FA Cup game, which obviously at the time you were in League One and completely did us over at Old Trafford, which must have been tremendously good fun. That wasn't necessarily a good memory. I remember the 90s games when I was really growing up and getting a bit more into it were often really filthy, dodgy affairs, and the way Ferguson seemed to set the team up was seemingly just get in, get a result, and get out, because the whole experience of going to Elland Road with the rivalry at that stage was just, you know, it was, in the nicest possible way, it was an ugly rivalry. And it's still got that little bit of bite about it these days. But at the time, especially when it was kind of at the apex during the 90s, especially with the animosity between the two sets of fans, it was a game you just wanted to survive and get through and then try and get on with your life as soon as it was over.
Whereas these
Apex.
days, the Man United fans are so plastic. It's just full of bloody Twitter kids just saying "small club" to everyone.
Yeah, cry more.
I mean, I spend a lot of time talking with United Twitter, as you can imagine, as part of the job. So I get to see both sides.
Leeds United Twitter.
No, the good one. What, the good one? I don't know. I mean, United's Twitter is not necessarily the best place to be. I mean, especially over the no, the good one, the good United.
Sorry,
Newcastle.
when you say United, who are you referring to?
Manchester United.
It's just because you keep saying
okay.
the good one, and that's Leeds.
Yeah,
Okay,
I know.
scum.
It was an attempt at banter. So obviously,
got it.
again, this is just further proof that you totally made the right choice in figuring out someone to get this podcast. And I'm obviously failing. I'm wearing a white jumper, for fuck's sake. Anyway.
We've converted you already.
Yeah, I know. But no, Manchester United Twitter has been a really tricky place to be in over the last sort of 4 to 5 years, especially just because Mourinho came in and the cult that surrounded him that was fully 1000% behind him and refused to hear any criticism to the contrary and would chuck every single player they could under the bus in protection of their great deity was ridiculous. And it's not quite as bad now, but I think with the way that a lot of Manchester United fans were born and raised on a diet of trophies, you get to where we are these days and patience for failure is really at an all-time low. So you get very visceral reactions to every time United have a terrible game, which, to be honest, has been at the minute every couple of months or at least every couple of weeks. So it's been draining to be near that, I've got to admit.
I'm no Mourinho fan, right? But did you just complain about having Mourinho where you actually won stuff versus Ole at the wheel where you've won fuck all and barely put in a good performance once a month?
I mean, the first season, like Mourinho won the League Cup and the Europa League for us. The man came within a goddamn whisker of getting us knocked out of that competition by basically shutting up shop against Celta Vigo of all teams. I think Mourinho did a couple of things that were really huge for United in the sense that he restored a little bit of a sharper mentality to us. You know, he took us to a team that had really struggled under Van Gaal and Moyes and gave a little bit of grit to us, you know, and we appreciated that. He made us into a team that could contend on the big occasions for the first time in a while. But the football was, at times, it wasn't as soul-suckingly boring as Van Gaal, but it was soul-sucking in a different way because it was so... Did you guys watch the Spurs game against Crystal Palace last weekend?
No.
Okay. Well, to give you a brief idea of what it was like, I mean...
I wasn't aware that anyone saw it, to be honest.
I think the thing you've got to understand, mate, is that, like, as a Leeds United fan coming to the Premier League, whether obviously the Championship is a lower standard, but when you watch the entertainment that can either be getting tonked or absolutely annihilating people that is Bielsa ball, watching Spurs under Mourinho and watching your shower of shit is not fun. We like to watch entertainment, and that's what we get.
No, I've seen Scum. I've seen Scum 3 times this season. Right, when you played Chelsea, when you played City, Man City, and when you played and when you played Spurs.
So you
a combined XG of about 0.20.
Yeah, so you watched the game where we got beat 6-1 and 2 0-0 draws.
Yeah,
fantastic. And what were your thoughts from that?
That you
shit, really, really, really bad, like really bad. Right. I mean, I would normally, obviously, we've got a song that we should probably sing. So, you know, Cookie, do you want to do it? So, Cookie, what do you think of Manchester?
One sec. Do you want me to stand up? Is that what it is? Because I can do it.
What do you think of Manchester?
Cunts.
No. Okay. So
I know what Donny's trying to do.
Yeah.
Not singing to you, mate.
Okay. I better do the singing then.
Yeah.
So what do we think of Manchester? Shit!
I mean,
what do we think of shit? Manchester, wank, wank, wank. Manchester, wank, wank, wank.
See, this is the thing. Like, I've been to Old Trafford enough, and I watch pretty much every game on telly, so I'll always hear the chants. Even over the last 16 years, I'm sure it's been the same at Ellen Road or when you've been away as well. There is always an anti-Leeds chant. I'm guessing it's exactly the same for you guys as well, though, isn't it? Even in those 16 years where we played each other, 2 or 3 times, it's never properly stopped, has it?
Ewan, you're being far too fucking sympathetic for this. Yeah. Get into the mood, Ewan. Fuck.
The thing is, everybody hates us. Yeah, everybody sings about us.
Making me like you, Ewan.
God, you like the equivalent of Marcus Rashford, aren't you?
Yeah, fucking
being
Marcus
so nice.
Rashford. Gary Neville with his interesting, accurate points.
Opinions, yeah. And Marcus Rashford with his saving children from a despicable government. Yeah, what does he know?
Fucking bastard. It's almost like you're actually humans.
Well, I mean, I've got no credibility with Manchester United Twitter. I've got to keep stopping myself from saying that anyway. But I actually really quite like Leeds as a city. Not a club, but as the city itself is actually quite nice. Don't tell anyone.
We're converting him. I think it was a mistake. I mean, it's always a mistake to start supporting Manchester United, especially when you're not born in Manchester.
Well,
but
yeah.
I think in your case, it definitely was a mistake. Look at you with your white jumper and telling us that you hate Man United and telling us that you're actually quite fond of Leeds and with your Leeds United girlfriend. What are you like, Ewan?
Well, just to be clear, I'm not still with them. That was several years ago. I've since moved on.
Yeah, she moved on. She realised that she couldn't be having a scummer in her.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. That's fine. No, I mean... Speaking a little bit, Cookie, about the death or glory element of Beelzebub, I'll tell you what, that's been a fun element of how this season's gone, because I've caught you lot a fair few times because I wanted to see what you were about. And after, that long holiday you had in the Championship, the fact that you've come back up to the Premier League playing absolutely chaos football has been really fucking fun.
It won't be for you on Sunday.
We've made the Premier League better, undoubtedly.
Well, I mean, whatever happens this season, at least you've come up and you've had a go. I don't think you're going down. Obviously, that's my preference. But I can't see you being as bad as the likes of Fulham, West Brom and Sheffield United at this point, because you've got too many goals in
there. Definitely not. We're like 9 points clear of all those teams. But
yeah, for now. But
well, and we will remain that way, mate. Especially when we get another 3 points tomorrow. Taking us up closer to you. Than the bottom 3.
So having said all of that about how scum is shit, Mourinho's a horrible bastard, Leeds are an asset to the Premier League by playing free-flowing, chaotic football, then you immediately followed that up with, I hope you guys go down. Well, I don't think so, because we're the only fucking interesting thing about the Premier League at the moment.
I don't know. I mean, West Brom were quite fun at the weekend. Not for long.
West Brom!
And they're going to be great under Big Sam, aren't they?
Oh, God. That's going to be Brexit football to the hilt. I'm not looking forward to that at all.
3 games' time. I think it's you, then Burnley, then West Brom. Yeah. That's going to be beautiful for us.
Oh, wow. Burnley as well. That'll be a laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Get ready to get absolutely twatted.
Patrick Bamford's off to give the middle finger to Sean Dyche.
No, that's fair enough. Oh, God.
I just have to make one point about this kind of low block style football.
Yeah.
I do feel like as a player, it can be quite satisfying, especially if you're a defender or a defensive midfielder and you really fucking love tackling people and the fight and the battling aspect of the game. I don't think it's any fun for fans at all. And I don't think
really
professional...
goddamn stressful.
Yeah. I don't think the professional game should be played that way necessarily, because it should be about entertainment and entertaining the poor people.
Yeah, I really struggle to understand, and I don't know whether you can shed any light on it, mate, but like why Man United play the way they do. When you look at the attacking talent that you've got, I mean, let's be honest, as much as I hate Man United and it begrudges me to compliment anyone, I think we have to accept we've got a predominantly championship team, coached with a great coach to make them Premier League standard, and you've got, some Norwegian farmer coaching some of the best players in the world, spent almost £1 billion in the last 10 years, and you play that shit. I mean, what's it about? Why is that going on when you've got Rashford, Martial, you've signed this Van der Beek guy from Dawson's Creek and all of that shit?
Why do we play the way we do? I think there's an element, and as much as I love Solskjaer for what he's done for the club, I think he's just tactically quite limited, is the formal way of answering that.
We're talking what he did as a player there, yeah, as opposed to anything recent.
No. I mean, there's definitely been some good days under Solskjaer, don't get me wrong, and I still I'm not a full-on Ollie's at the wheel type fan. I still appreciate that he's got some pretty big drawbacks that I think are stopping us from getting any further than we currently are. But I understand at the minute that I understand why he's in charge at the club and why Ed Woodward and the board have moved him on. In terms of the tactics, I think that he doesn't necessarily know many other ways to play. You look at the way that United actually succeed in the Premier League so far this season, and the way that we score a lot of our goals is in transition. So when you give us a little bit of space in behind, we're incredibly good at picking that apart and ripping teams to bits. If you sit in a low block, as you're not going to do, then you're more often than not going to have more luck against us. So you've got your pressing style, which is really strung about trying to suffocate the defence into problems and put pressure on the goalkeeper, which United absolutely hate, and we're mostly rubbish about passing out from a high press. But the only thing is, you also leave a lot of space in behind, which is why I think it could be a pretty high scoring draw, because I think both defences, if you put them under enough pressure, can be a bit rubbish.
I thought you were okay out from the back. Dean Henderson did really well the other day.
Oh, he did superb. Yeah. Oh, God bless him. Like, first game back at Bramall Lane after a year out on loan, he does that. Like, absolute.
I don't know you very well at all, Ewan. Yeah. You've only just it's 18 minutes or something that we've got to know each other. But you're very well spoken.
Thank you.
And
you're not used to that on here or something.
I think no. Apex, animosity. Mm-hmm. These words don't appear on the Roaring Peacock podcast.
We're semi-used to it with you, Donny, but maybe not the rest of us commoners.
But when you say something like, I feel like Ollie is tactically limited.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not mince around here. You're saying his shit, are you? This is posh boy nice talk. Ollie is fucking shit.
I mean, it is one of the core elements a manager needs, isn't it? To be tactically astute. And what you're saying is he isn't.
Well, more limited than perhaps astute. I think he's just far too reactive at times. Like, we played a game against PSG, the game completely turned and they had about 10 minutes of dominance and they scored. And after that, he made changes too late and we were behind. He struggles with.
He's learned master tactics, though, at Mulder, at Cardiff, where he did great jobs, and against top teams. I could see why he'd go to someone like Man United,
Are you suggesting we should swap managers? Are you happy with that?
In fairness, your fans all season have been tweeting about wanting Bielsa. You got no fucking chance. He'd hate your club.
I don't think he'd like it that much, no.
He fucking wouldn't.
It's not cultish enough for him, is it?
Well, it's more the fact that the board are a set of cunts that won't give him what he wants.
True. I don't think it's for him. No, it's a job that you look at and think that's not for Bielsa at all. It might be fun for a little while, but I think you're right. You'd absolutely hate it. But I think actually in some way, considering what he's done in the World Game, he's quite well suited to your lot. I think he loves being an underdog. And I think you lot also love being hated as well. So it's a perfect marriage, really, isn't it?
Cookie, any memories of the scum rivalry?
Loads, mate, to be honest with you. From, I think, one of the first games of the season ticket holder, I think would have been, I can't remember if it was 96 or 97 or about 11 years old. And we beat Man United 1-0 at Elland Road. David Weatherall, header, I believe, off the top of my head. And then the sad memories.
2-1.
Was it? Oh, I would a kid, mate. And then just the sad memories of...
so you stopped remembering things when you were a teenager then?
Correct, mate. I was very drunk and very high. And then just the kind of sad end of Howard Wilkinson. That 4-0 drubbing, but it sort of led to George Graham and in turn David O'Leary and what happened after. So not too sad until the aftermath of that.
That game, September 94, I think it was my 4th ever game. So we'd gone to one game in the previous season, and then I liked it so much that my mum got us season tickets, and I never heard a sound like it. I mean, we hadn't beaten you lot for 13 years, I think. So it was quite significant at the time. And but anyway, when we were leaving, there was a crowd of, I don't know if it was the service crew or whoever it was, and there was obviously some type of fight trying to be had. But there was a huge amount of Stone Island clad lads, and they were encircled by police on horses with truncheons. And at some point, this is quite, I would say, fairly scary for an 8-year-old. And at one point there was a big roar, and they were like, "Rah!" and they charged the police, and me and my mum were just kind of scampering away on the other side of the street as far away as possible. But that was like welcome to the Leeds Man United rivalry.
I mean, it takes a bold man to run full pelt at a police horse, or if you're a Geordie, to try and punch it.
A bold man or a fucking retard.
Yeah, there were 50 of the lads. They seemed to be having fun. They were enjoying it. I'm not sure the police were.
I mean, I can't imagine they were. I mean, do you really want to be I mean, imagine them getting the call saying on your shift rotas, yeah, you're going off to Welland Road for Leeds versus Manchester United. Oh, brilliant. Fantastic. Can't wait.
By the way, Donny, I knew I wasn't imagining it. I've just double-checked. It was 1997, Weatherall header 1-0 at Elland Road. I knew I remembered it.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Was that the year after?
97, yeah.
Did we go on a run of beating Scum?
Even more plastic than I am, Jesus.
That 2-1 victory is just so stained into my mind.
The only other thing stained in my mind is seeing that big twat Roy Keane injure himself on Alfinger Haaland like an absolute knob, and then spend the rest of his career trying to kill Haaland off, and then succeeded. The bastard.
Oh, Gordon Bennett, that wasn't great.
It doesn't take a genius to know that he is an actual cunt. Fucking hated Roy Keane back then, and Gary Neville. We used to call them the Rat Brothers because they looked like rats.
Yep.
And Gary was King Rat, and Phil Neville was Brother Rat.
Yeah, I mean, Gary Neville's exactly the sort of player that you want on your side when you're playing derby games like this, because he gets it. It's so easy to sort of say, oh, he gets the club and all that sort of stuff, but actually having someone who's lived those rivalries and knows what it means to play in games against City or Liverpool or Leeds, it's massive, and they enjoy it more than the players that have come in from elsewhere. Yeah.
Well, I mean, in fairness, you could see Roy Keane got it, but I mean, of all the players,
Roy Keane wanted to fight everyone all the time.
But of all the players I've ever seen at Man United, as much as I respected his capability, I just think he just stands out as just the biggest dickhead. I mean, you can see it in his punditry now. He's got such a stick up his ass about everything. And like what he did to Haaland ended his career. I mean, for me, he shouldn't have been allowed to be involved in football again after that. In punditry or any form, management, coaching, whatever. Absolutely disgusting. You've ended someone else's career. I hate the guy, honestly. It's an absolute vile character.
I mean, when it comes to Keane, obviously, loyalty and tradition dictates that I'm behind him to a certain extent. I don't like Roy Keane, the pundit, because he just sounds a bit archaic. He's back in the dark ages in terms of how football should be for men and all this sort of stuff, and how you should just, you hobble on with a broken leg and just try and get stuff done. And, players have to do things up to their full potential all the time, completely forgetting that they're actual people and they can't perform to their maximum all the time. It winds me up, and he's just old-fashioned in the way that he does his punditry. He has it every now and then. He'll come out with an absolute zinger in terms of an actual decent bit of a quote or a joke or something that actually makes you think, you can be quite funny when you put your mind to it. But he's just so... what's the word I'm searching for here?
A cunt.
He's just so...
cuntish.
Yeah, I mean, essentially you agree he's a cunt, right?
You will never get me on record saying Roy Keane is that. I'll get firebombed if I
Everyone knows what you're thinking though, mate.
No one knows what I'm thinking, and you're never going to get me to agree. It's not happening.
It's already well established on this pod so far that you're very well spoken, and there are certain ways of criticizing people that actually translated into our language would mean cunt.
Well, you want it through your own translator process, mate. I can't help what you do with my words. I'm just going to refer you back to the original text.
There definitely needs to be. There's some sort of line across the Pennines, which definitely needs some translation.
What do you think is going to happen tomorrow then? What are your predictions for it?
Well, funny you should say that, Ewan.
Oh, good. Is that one of your questions?
We have, every week, we have match preview predictions. Nice. Alex represents the Roaring Peacock. Cookie will be doing it this time. And I didn't check what the scores are. So bear with me a sec. Oh, it was 5-2, isn't it? That's how many goals we scored last time. We won 5-2.
I watched the highlights of that. That was, considering how the last month has gone, that was a big win, to be fair.
Yeah, in saying that, though, they are... And this isn't to take away from a great performance and some good goals, but easily, in my opinion, Newcastle are the worst team I've seen this season.
I mean, have you played Sheffield United yet?
Yes, and we beat them, and they were better than Newcastle, because Sheffield United actually ran.
Yeah, I mean, Newcastle did a similar thing to us. When it got to sort of the last 10 minutes or so and going into stoppage time, they just fell apart. You can really press them into those areas, and if you've got pace, which you've got in spades, you can definitely take them apart in those last sort of...
Yeah, Steve Bruce and Sam Allardyce are just soulmates, aren't they?
I prefer Brucey over Big Sam, I've got to admit. I feel like Steve Bruce has got a bit more charm about him. Big Sam's just like the curry container from a fish and chip shop.
Just the Del Boy of football, isn't he?
Oh, I mean, Del Boy's got a bit more charm than Big Sam, surely. Don't tar him with that brush.
Steve Bruce has a pie face, if ever I've seen one.
That's true, but you could give him a Santa Claus outfit and he'd fit right in. It's all right. He could pull that off. It'd be fine.
I mean, Big Sam tries
to wear that.
Yeah, I prefer Big Sam because he's not an ex-scum twat.
Yeah. Yeah, he's really got that going against him, old pie face.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's 7-6 currently to the opposition. So the rules are you get 1 point for predicting the correct result, so win, draw, or loss. You get 2 extra points for predicting the correct scoreline. And you get a point extra for each correct goal scorer. But you get minus points if those players don't score, if you see what I mean. So that kind of stops you gaming the system by naming every player on both sides. So with all that in mind, Ewan, let me, you scummy bastard, give us your prediction.
Now, see, I was on another Leeds United show last night, and because it was a nice chat, I already decided I'm not going to...
Unlike this, where you just get called a cunt constantly.
Who were these nice bastards?
Unlike this vile experience.
It was LS11.
It was LS11, yeah. I had a good chat with Darren last night. And I didn't feel like predicting a United win, so I went for 2-2. Now, you two are horrible, so I'm going to go for 3-2 United.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Manchester.
We got
United,
cold horrible.
So we're clear.
3-2 to the scum. And are you predicting goal scorers?
Patrick Bamford, Rafinha for you lot. And I'm going to go with Bruno Fernandes and 2 for Rashford.
Assuming Fernandes will be from the spot, yeah?
It works, doesn't it? I mean, to be fair, I know that the penalty stuff can wind... Do you care about the penalty stuff at all, Cookie? Does that wind you up in terms of stat padding or what?
I do call him Fernandes because he's an horrible fucker who only scores penalties.
We didn't get a penalty for, I think, 59 games at one point. So, yes.
Well, you can have some of ours if you want. I mean, we get loads of them.
I'm not a big fan of conspiracy in general.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of absolutely trash conspiracies out there.
But let me put my tinfoil hat on now. All right, is that where we're going?
Right.
Yeah.
But you fucking pay the referees and the FA. I know it. I fucking know it because every single fucking VAR decision, it's like, whatever scum won. Oh, we'll just give it to you. Fine.
I mean, if we're paying the refs, we're not doing a very good job because we're in massive amounts of debt still.
Should we disallow that goal? Okay. What do they want? Just get on. What's Woodward saying? It's a penalty. Okay. Yep. Penalty.
I mean, you know full well that it's not Ed Woodward getting involved. It's David Gill, who we all know is an officer for UEFA, and then you've got Alex Ferguson in the VAR truck. We know that's what it is. So if you're going to go in for conspiracy theory, get it right at least. Come on.
There you go. See? Drew that out of you.
You acknowledge it.
Yeah. Straight from the fucking horse's mouth.
I mean, if we're gonna say, like, honestly, the good things happen if you run at defenders because they crop our lot up constantly, and it happens. I don't look at many of the decisions these days with VAR and think, oh, we're getting away lucky with these. The reason that we get so many penalties is because they take risks and often get tackled in the penalty area. It's not rocket science. It's good fun.
I've become sympathetic to you as a person, but absolute bollocks. Okay, Cookie. Your prediction?
Well, I agree with you in the sense, not of the score, but of the open game and high scoring. I think it will be 4-3 to Leeds. I do think it'll be a high scoring game, and I think the way you play won't be good for us defensively, but I also think that Bamford is going to embarrass the fridge, so I think we'll be all right.
So you're predicting Bamford to score?
Oh, I am. Bamford 2, Rafinha 1, and Dallas 1.
It goes for Patrick Bamford and Rafinha to get goals. Sounds a little like someone else's predictions.
It's almost like you picked the people who score the most. And then for the horrible scum, the only player I have ever liked that plays for Man United that hasn't then moved to Leeds, although perhaps one day he will, who knows what could happen, I think Rashford will get a hat-trick. 4-3.
He is a very, very nice young man, isn't he?
He is.
How much did he raise to feed children?
20 million plus or so.
All of the thing the government should have done. He funded all of that.
Yes.
Made them look very silly in the process.
Well, it's not difficult. They do
a pretty good job of that themselves, really.
Yeah. But I find it very hard to like Rashford as much as I do. He's very difficult to dislike. But as soon as he pulls on that red Man United shirt, I do think for that 90 minutes he's a cunt. So that makes me feel comfortable.
Yeah. It's hard.
Well,
it's hard not to be a
to
cunt
reality,
in that
don't
shirt.
you?
I mean, he's a good guy, innit? You can't get away from it. He's a good guy. But he's a cunt when he has the shirt on. Simple.
Anyone who wears that shirt, problematic.
How's this season going for you two then? What is the ideal scenario for Leeds going into the rest of this season now?
Do you want to go first, Donny? Champions League. Me and Donny have very different ways of looking at this season, as you'll probably tell from my response.
I have, yes.
I've got very simple. Anything 17th and above for any team coming up is good, as long as you stay up. I think realistically, I genuinely believe that we've had a good start and we can finish mid-table to bottom end of sort of 8th, 9th, 10th. Anywhere around there I think is plausible. But it depends which Leeds United turns up every week and who we're playing. It's tough because I expect us to give Man United, Man City, Spurs, etc. good games. And then I worry when we play the likes of Burnley, who just sit back and have every player that's 7 foot tall. So, but yeah, it's going well so far, mate, for me. I think we'll comfortably stay up. Very comfortably.
It's really difficult to predict because if you think about each game, this is why I don't get involved in the match preview predictions. You look at each game and
Coward.
It could really... Yes, very much so. Yes, I don't want to be wrong. I'll never forgive myself.
Well, why the hell are you doing a podcast about football if you don't want to be wrong about something? This is the most obvious thing.
This is why he's the host.
Oh, right, yeah.
Exactly. So each game could go either way. We could win it, we could draw, we could lose. It's just the way we play because we put so much on the line. And it's been a very odd experience looking at the analysis of the game so far. So if you look at the teams who we've run against, basically, we've outrun every single opponent so far. We've had more possession than all of them, I think, including Man City and including Liverpool at Anfield. And the team that ran that as almost as much as us was Sheffield United, and then after that it was Chelsea, and we certainly ran, and Villa, and we certainly ran more in those games when we got pushed. So, and the league doesn't really reflect that. It doesn't reflect maybe how hard Sheffield United worked against us. I don't watch Sheffield United when they're not playing Leeds, so I
think
don't really
that's
know.
Fair enough. I don't think Sheffield United want to watch Sheffield United.
So it's been a weird season. I also think it's weird. There's been some strange results with away games because the fans aren't there. More away wins for teams for 70 years, I think it is, something like that, since some weird season in the 60s. So yeah, obviously Man City aren't looking a threat, and they didn't look a threat last year for the title either. So Liverpool seem to be doing better after a shaky start, but any one of probably 6-7 teams could win the Premier League, and Leeds could finish anywhere between. I genuinely think we could get a Europa League place, or we could finish 17th. But I don't think we're going to get relegated, and I don't think we're getting into the Champions League.
Yeah. One of the things I think you'll find interesting, Ewan, off the back of what Donny was just saying, is the correlation between last season and this season is that most teams, the majority of teams, do not fare well immediately after playing Leeds. If you look at the majority of teams this season, they haven't played Leeds and then gone on and won. I think only Liverpool and City have, and the other teams have all either drawn or lost. So you might want to not only be nervous about the game, but nervous about how your team copes in the games after that, because teams have to run harder against us. They have to, no matter how fit they are. And last season it was the same. Every team that beat us last season, I think, went on and lost straight away afterwards because they were knackered, because they had to put in 150% compared to what we do every single game. And it's why you'll see that people say, and you'll hear the lazy punditry about how we get tired. It's a fucking myth. We never stop.
This is great though, isn't it? Because it's not like we're about to embark on an incredibly condensed fixture list with loads of games happening every 2 or 3 days. You know.
Yeah, so good luck to you over the Christmas period.
Oh, God. Well, we've got Everton in the League Cup, so obviously I'd rather not go out of that because that's a chance to actually win something, and winning things is nice as far as I'm concerned. So if we can get through that game and get through this fixture list without completely falling on our asses, that would be nice.
But you were happy winning things under Mourinho, mate. I thought you wanted beautiful football.
What, sorry?
You were happy winning things under Mourinho, though. I thought you wanted beautiful football.
I was happy winning things under Mourinho. I wasn't happy when we weren't winning things.
Yeah, seems to be a lot of contradictions there. I think the scum squad is quite bad, isn't it, really, when you think about it? Not in terms of...
It's been 10 minutes since you mentioned scum. So yeah, you needed to get that in. Have you got like a quota for how many times you just say scum in an episode?
No.
It's unlimited.
But it's the scum match preview.
Of course, yeah, fair enough.
We wouldn't say Manchester United, just like you wouldn't say it. You've got your...
No, I would, because I'm nice.
No, you've got your condensed version, which is United, without the Manchester accent. United!
Fucking Liam Gallagher over there. Although he's a City fan, isn't he?
And our way of referring to Manchester United is scum. So I'm not putting it on. I'm not putting on a show for you. I'm not a fucking dancing monkey tap dancing over here for you.
I've actually genuinely, ever since I was a kid, I've never known them as anything other than the scum. My stepdad had me calling him the scum from 7 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, fair enough. I mean, I'll blame my parents for not actually taking me up to football properly until I was about 9, and then not telling me who I should hate and why I should hate them.
If you don't mind, I've got a quick question for you, which might be a little bit controversial. What do you think of, we talked about United, obviously you've got a lot of Manchester United Twitter kids about. Mm-hmm. What do you think of them all posting Turkey flags on Leeds United posts of late about the Galatasaray situation?
You'll have to give me a bit more context in terms of the Turkey thing. Is that just basically from the
Galatasaray game where 2 of our fans were stabbed to death?
Oh, I mean, I'm completely against anything like that whatsoever. I mean, the problem is with this sort of stuff, if you look at United fans, who we've seen at times who have mocked Hillsborough, or that doesn't happen so much now, but then you look at what happened in Turin, I think it was, in the Champions League final, Heysel, sorry, and then Liverpool fans talking about Munich. It's all stupid tit-for-tat stuff. Every section of every fan base has a section of fans who take it too far, and I would never sit down and condone United fans who take the tragedy that other clubs have gone through and say this is a reason to take the piss out of you, because it's ridiculous. It's pathetic. It doesn't need to happen. And just as much as any fan base should look at Munich and think, that's not very funny, maybe we shouldn't talk about that, I will forever condemn anyone who says, oh, what happened in Turkey with Galatasaray, that was hilarious, let's talk about that, I'm going to take the piss out of it. It doesn't need to happen.
You are annoyingly nice. You can tell you're not from actual Manchester.
Yeah.
It's just, I hate that stuff though, man. I'm not good at it.
Me too, mate. Me too.
It's just, it's so pointless. It's schoolyard. You know, why on earth would you think people dying in tragic situations is something that's worth having a joke about or taking the piss out of another set of fans for?
Because people are cunts.
Cookie, I could have told you that was going to be his reaction.
You can edit it out if you think he's too nice.
But then I'd have to edit out the whole fucking thing.
Yeah. Screwed.
It's just us effing and jeffing the whole time with literally no response.
But I'm sure you guys know what I mean, though, in the sense that you get sections of every single fan base that take these things a bit too far, don't you?
100%.
You're calling me scum and cunt tonight. I don't really mind that too much because it's a laugh. But we go out and have a drink, and if we could, because obviously we're all locked down, we can't leave our bloody houses. But at the same time, we could go out and do that. It wouldn't come into a punch-up or anything like that. And you wouldn't walk up to me and talk about United tragedies, and I wouldn't do it to you, because it's just, we're grown-ups. Why do you got to do it? I don't understand.
I mean, you're obviously a nice person. That's been the challenging thing throughout this podcast, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah, you'd never fit on something like Arsenal TV.
No, I'm not anywhere near incendiary enough or stupid enough for Arsenal fan TV, unfortunately. I'd never make it. God, speaking of which, I got to go watch the highlights tonight after they got beat by Everton. Crack open a can of it and watch that. Yeah.
You have to say it's entertaining. It is entertaining.
What, Arsenal falling apart? Oh, yeah. I mean, there was a time I think it was 9 years ago when Roy Hodgson was taking Liverpool down to a similar position and he got sacked. And there was a point where I was finding myself thinking, all right, we've had a bit of fun here, but this is starting to look a little bit sad now, Liverpool losing all these games. And I stopped myself and thought, actually, no, it's still pretty fucking funny.
It's just seeing Piers Morgan implode on Twitter. And the fans who thought that Arteta was going to be the next big thing, like you guys thought Ole was, and it's hilarious.
I mean, Ole did really well. He had a bounce after he came in after Mourinho.
Oh, Rio Ferdinand told us, mate. Rio Ferdinand told us.
Oh, yeah, Rio, the fountain of all football knowing knowledge. Yeah. Good grief.
Manchester United are back! Woo! Ole's at the wheel!
None of that.
Give him the contract.
It's just not in my nature, to put all my eggs in a basket like that. Not after we've had a proper sample size of results. I thought I'm still appreciative of Ollie, but yeah, we'll see. That's a whole other conversation. But yeah, Arsenal, that's hilarious. Enjoying that very much. Plus, they won the FA Cup at the end of last season. How have they stopped? How have they gotten this bad? I don't get it.
14,540 days since Leeds United last won a league game at Old Trafford.
Have you been carving that on the bedroom wall or something?
It's one scratch every day.
Oh dear. 1981, I believe it was.
Wow.
It'll be an entertaining game. That is for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
It won't be like some of your other dull games where, some of the 0-0s you've been in. But yeah, it'll definitely be an interesting game.
Yeah, I mean, if it is 0-0, I'll be absolutely shocked. But I think in some ways, I'm looking forward to it because it's nice to have the rivalry back again and to sort of build it up. And obviously, it's rubbish that there's no fans there. I think if Manchester had come out of into Tier 2, that would have been a great occasion for the first game back for United fans to be able to go to Old Trafford as you lot. Obviously, it's rubbish that no one's going to be there to experience it because I think the rivalry, within reason, can be built up again now. There's a chance, and I don't think you're going down this season. So it'd be nice to sort of renew hostilities to a certain level and get that rivalry back a little bit.
Yeah. I think when the fans are in the stadium, it'll be back.
If there'd been fans there, you might actually have gotten an atmosphere at Old Trafford.
Hey, there he is. Now, to be fair, though, I was saying to LS11 yesterday, if this game was at Ellen Road, I would bet us to win. It's at Old Trafford tomorrow, and we're rubbish at home. So I'm not expecting us to do that well, to be honest with you.
Well, the return game in April, I believe it's in April, isn't it? There's a chance fans will be in then, and I won't bet your money on beating us at Elland Road with the fans in the stadium.
Yeah, with fans in the stadium, that's a different occasion. I can't say I'm looking forward to that at all. I can't imagine the away end's going to be full either.
I don't think it'll be full at all, if I'm honest with you, at that point. I still don't think we'll be back to full stadiums, but
no.
You've actually seen the difference, even with a couple of thousand fans in the London stadiums, for example, has made a difference, and I think, in the results.
It has, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Scouts teams have done quite well with it too so far. You know, Everton had 2,000 fans in their far right end of the ground, and Liverpool will be putting everyone in the Kop. And I think it does make a big difference to them. And, you know, I think maybe there's an element for us with the fact that United at Old Trafford is just, you know, you made the joke about being quiet. It's now obviously deadly silent. And I think they really do miss that. And yet the onus on us to have possession and break teams down is just completely working against us. When fans get back in, I think the home results will properly turn around. But for the time being, I mean, in a general sort of point, football without fans at the minute is just... it's just so watered down, isn't it? It's nowhere near as much fun. It doesn't feel like it means as much as it used to.
I sort of get what you mean, but at the same time, I think that for a lot of people, if you get onto the social aspects, I think it's getting a lot of people through lockdown. It makes a big difference to me week on week, just knowing the football's on compared to lockdown one when it wasn't. You know, I guess it's just not I know what you mean, though. It's not the same spectacle, is it? You know, it's like playing five-a-side with your mates when no one's watching a little bit.
Yeah, and sometimes you might be forgiven for getting a little bit too into it, going in with a bit of a reducer, pumping the fist a little bit too much for like a five-a-side game with people from work, even though you're not actually playing for anything.
I always go in hard in five-a-side. Yeah. You fucking know when I'm around. Tell you.
All right, mate. I mean, to be fair...
your look on your face. Fucking hell.
Yeah, but it's just like, I just saw you about 20 minutes ago get worried and go and get a piece of paper and a little cup to get rid of a bug that was on your microphone. So I'm not sure I believe it, to be honest with you.
My mouth is quite close to this fucking microphone. Yeah? Do you think I want to be opening my mouth?
It's not going to jump in there, is it? Jesus.
Bug with wings around.
Hey, Donny, what you
never
said...
know what he's going to do. I don't know what he's going to do. Do you know what the bug's going to do?
I don't know whether it's how well I know you, Donny, but when you said that you get hard at five-a-side, it had a completely different fucking meaning to me.
Yeah, when he said that, I thought, now, I'm new on this show, and hopefully never be on it again, but I'm just sort of...
I thought we'd created a lifelong friendship here.
Oh, absolutely. You know, we'll start this lifelong friendship again on, let's think, 7 p.m. on Sunday evening, shall we? Yeah, we're on pause for the time being. But yeah, I did hear that, Donny, and I was just thinking, do I let that go? I mean, Cookie will say something if I don't, surely.
I don't let shit like that go.
No.
I said I go in hard.
That's not any better.
No, it's not any better, mate.
I didn't say I play five-a-side with an erection.
But you do, don't you?
Surely that would make it quite unaerodynamic. Quite difficult to run.
It's another thing to use for a finish.
Well, I mean, you tell us.
That's true, though. That's true. You could batter it in off your cock.
Oh, Jesus, that's an image.
That's the perfect hat trick.
It's not even 9 o'clock GMT. Jesus Christ.
That's the real hat trick. That's the fourth goal. So it's, you know, left foot, right foot, header. That's that, and then you've got to smash it in off your erect penis. Yeah. The fucking turkey slap.
I mean, Ewan, he lied to you about the name of the show. It's actually just called the Roaring Cock.
Yeah, that seems more appropriate, to be honest with you.
I love how Cookie and I just don't give a fuck, and you're you're trying really hard to be like above this level of humor.
I gave up on that after like 2 minutes. So
I think it's safe to say you've got a better chance of featuring on something like the BBC than we ever would.
I think my favourite bit was when Donny was trying to get you singing the Scum song, and you were just there with having none of it.
I'm not a singer, mate. Look at me.
No.
Didn't you used to be in a band?
I did. Doing metal screaming. Band. Do you want me to do metal screaming version of it?
Nice. Oh, what was the band?
Yes.
It was called Desecrate the Sacred.
Wow.
Yeah. Proper
that is
death metal
as shit.
We're talking back in like 2008, mate. It's been a while.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, you bust your vocal cord, didn't you?
I tore my vocal cords on set, on stage, supporting a band called Napalm Death.
What, Napalm Death?
Yeah, and
Jesus,
it really
well
fucking hurt. Yeah, we supported some other bands like Evil and some other decent stuff like Nile, but I tore my vocal cords on stage. It was fucking horrible. Couldn't talk for a month, which a lot of people were very happy about.
That's not bad, though. That's a nice little who's who of the British metal scene. Fair play to you.
It was good, man. Enjoyed it. And they were really nice guys as well, even if they were from Birmingham.
Donnie, what's your talent?
My talent?
This. Oh, God.
I'm an artist.
Oh, really?
I guess.
Wow.
I do a lot of Leeds United derived artwork.
Is that it right there behind you?
Out.
Because that looks like the Simpsons' bedroom.
He's a genuinely very good artist.
I'm sure you are. I was looking at that thinking, that TV as well, it just looks like Marge and Homer are just sat up in bed and they got the TV at the end there and just watching a bit of telly for the laugh.
Yeah, I mean, I could maybe put a bit more effort into it, but I thought that's kind of good enough.
It's nice. I like it. It's 29 your lucky number.
Yeah, as a
yeah.
I'm just thinking, Ewan, compared to you, who right now, with the way that you sat, kind of looks like you got purple tinsel on your head.
I am. Yeah, it's just very well placed, though, isn't it? Yeah. I can put purple tinsel on my head if that's your kink, mate. It's fine. It's Christmas time. I feel like being generous.
I kind of want to see this now.
All right, hold on.
I mean, I'd just like to be really clear that I've gotten a Man United fan to put purple tinsel on their head.
Yeah, what else can we get him to do?
There we go. Very pretty.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I can't believe he's made you do that.
I don't care. Am I going to catch shit from Leeds fans? Oh, no.
You might regret it when it becomes like a GIF.
I mean, I'll take the fame wherever I can get it, my dude. Don't worry.
Nice.
I'm all good. So, Christmas period for you two then, for you lot. How confident are you of actually picking up some decent points?
Our run of games isn't too bad, so I feel all right. I mean, we're playing a lot of teams who play very defensively, and it's obviously a lot of games in a short period of time in it, which will be a real test of the way in which we play. But I still feel fairly confident. I really do with the teams we've got to play. I mean, primarily thinking about, you who should be really easy. That shouldn't take too much out of our legs, and then, straight into Burnley and West Brom, who, let's be honest, are both
bit of a step
absolute
up,
dog shit. But yeah, a bit of a step up from scum. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I feel all right. I can't remember who we've got after that in New Year's game, but yeah, I feel relatively confident.
Yeah, I mean, this is kickstarting a bit of a nasty run for us. So we've got you lot, Everton in the the League Cup, and then I think it's Villa, Wolves, and Leicester in that sort of in an opposite order. But those are all teams that are sort of in and around us in the table.
After you're knackered from playing us, you're fucked.
I know. Yeah, I'm not desperately looking forward to that run of games. I think that's going to really stretch us. So if we've got the likes of Cavani coming back in, even if he's potentially due a ban in the new year, then I think that'll be big because we need goals, however we can get them. If we can muddle through these next 4 league games and get 9 points, that's great because some of these teams you can really tell are going to come all out for us and we're going to be absolutely zonked after playing you lot. So yeah, if it's one of those things, especially with how bad the Champions League campaign went, which I'm sure you both very enjoyed deeply with how badly that went in Germany. If United are able to keep themselves together and somehow get a title charge together, that for the first time in about, 7 years into the new year, I'll be amazed just because we've been so dysfunctional over the course of the last 2 years at different points. If they can keep their heads together in this mad season and get a title charge together, that'd be incredible.
Donny, please promise me that in the edit, right, every time Ewan says United, you just put Manchester on the screen.
Yeah.
Just pops up to clarify.
Well, I mean,
I just dub it with scum.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Do you want me to say scum so you've got the audio source?
You just did.
There you go.
Wow. That was so easy.
Mm-hmm.
We've made you put tinsel on your head. You're saying scum. We just need to get you to call Roy Keane a cunt, and we've done it.
No, even I've got limits. Come on.
Okay.
It's Christmas. This is a family show.
Don't know what fucking family.
It's a family show. Gather round, children. into the Roaring Peacock podcast.
Gather around, children. It's the Donny and Cookie show. What are you doing this week, Cookie? I'm calling United fans cunts.
That's like Pinky in the Brain. What will we be doing this week, Cookie? Same thing I do every week, Pinky. Calling Manchester United fans cunts.
I'm not particularly confident, to go back to your question. To be honest, I don't like teams who sit in a low block. I think we struggle most against those kind of teams. So I think the reason why you do so well away from home is because there's not the pressure of being at the theatre of shit to have the possession and to make the play. You know, when you're away, you can sit back and hit teams on the counter attack. So if you do that tomorrow, or today, if you're listening, then I'll be worried. And that's basically Sean Dyche's blueprint, and that's also Sam Allardyce's blueprint, and that's also Jose Mourinho's blueprint. Mm-hmm. So the next 4 games are against teams who
Spurs,
play. Yeah. I'm taking this off. It's too cheap. Sorry.
Yeah. Take it off. You don't stick up for yourself, Ewan. Fucking hell! Can't believe I'm even saying it. God. If somebody tells you to wear some tinsel, tell them to go get fucked.
I don't care. It's no skin off my nose. It's Christmas time. You've got to give.
That's the problem. So, yes. So the next 4 games and Crawley Town as well. That sounds like a game we could lose as well.
Fucking right. You know it's going to happen.
It would
Crawley
be very...
Town.
Yeah, mate, they've got Mark Wright from the All the Way. It's fucking Essex. That would just be a fucking typical headline, wouldn't it? Mark Wright undoes Bielsa. Fuck off.
So Leedsy.
I mean, if you lose that game, you've got to be having some serious words with yourselves.
I mean, we've got an history of having losing to pretty shit teams in the cup.
True, but
they would be far better than teams we've lost against
now, right? Surely.
I tell you one thing: I would rather lose to Crawley and stay up than go on a cup run and be in a relegation dogfight every day of the week right now.
All right, here's a question for you. You get to beat United home and away this season, but you get relegated. Let's say to sweeten the pot, you beat us like 3-4-0, like proper one-sided affairs. You beat us both times, but you get relegated. Do you take it?
Oh, I'll be honest with you, that's hard because I would take the results, but no. I think we have to consolidate as a Premier League team, so no.
You absolute plastics.
we need to be where we are. If we go down, we lose Bielsa, we lose Calvin Phillips and a few of the other good players, probably Matthias Klitsch in particular. You know, what would the chances of us coming back up be? Yeah, Meslier, 20-year-old, obviously amazing French keeper. We'd be in bother, so...
We've just gotten fucking out of it.
Yeah.
Yes, 16 years. I mean, you don't get out of the Championship by luck. It is a proper graft. So to get out of it, I can imagine you probably want to do everything you possibly can to go back in there. Sorry, to avoid.
I mean, the good thing for us, because that's a hypothetical you've given us, the good thing is that we're going to beat you 4-0 home and away and stay up. So, I mean, we're in Wonderland here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've got no worries.
I mean, if that happens, I might have to actually fold our podcast.
Right. If that happens, you have to come back on this podcast, right, after the 2 games are done, wearing a Leeds United shirt and call Roy Keane a cunt.
If you want to buy the shirt, sure.
I'll do that. I swear to God I will.
Let's see how we go, all right? I'm not going to... we'll put a pin in that for the time being.
Sounds very non-committal. Where's your faith in your team?
Have you seen our
That
team?
doesn't sound good.
Can beat RB Leipzig 5-0 at home and then go off to Istanbul and then let Demba Ba score from 60 yards out.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching that.
I bet you bloody well did, yeah. Jesus.
Radio seems as good a point as any to start wrapping this up then. So, Cookie, final thoughts?
Well, about Ewan, I think you're annoyingly nice, but
yes,
you obviously somewhere deep down are a cunt because you're a Man United fan.
Yeah.
I think that it will be a really open game. I think it will be entertaining, which is a rarity for Man United, so you should really enjoy that, Ewan, whilst it happens. And I think that Leeds come away with the victory in a high-scoring game. That's what I think.
Excellent. Ewan?
I just wanted to say what a nice evening I've had. It's been so nice.
I feel like we've really made you feel at home.
Absolutely, yeah. No, it's been good fun. As far as the game tomorrow, I mean, it sounds like really anodyne to say it's going to be high scoring, but that's what both of our teams have got, isn't it? We can both score goals, and our defences are perennially rubbish. So, yeah, it's probably going to be incredibly difficult to watch. It's going to be incredibly stressful. It's going to be anxiety inducing, and I'm probably not going to enjoy most of it. So, most like many United games. So there you go. I'm going to stick with 3-2. I think it's going to be awful. I think it's going to be a genuinely difficult watch. And again, as you said, one for the neutrals, which is just code for saying this is stressful for anyone who actually cares about it.
I have extreme anxiety every time Leeds play. It was only until we scored the fourth goal against Newcastle that I was able to breathe and enjoy it. I want to also point out we're all wearing the same glasses, which I find very fucking weird.
Yeah. I mean, this is basically like, are you what? How old are the two of you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 35.
35, 33, Donny?
34.
34, yeah. So we're all in our early to mid-30s. We've all got the same glasses. So we're basically just football hipsters wearing glasses.
And
so
it is also, if you look at it, it's like the evolution of the beard. With Donny, who's got the stubble, you've kind of got this little goatee thing going on, and then I'm an actual man.
Yes, you can actually grow one. I have to clip mine off because it just ends up looking like someone's taped pubes to my face if I don't do it properly.
Okay, so if we win 4-0,
yeah,
then you've got to tape pubes to your face and wear a Leeds shirt.
I mean, that wasn't the deal. It's home and away.
But you just gave me an idea. It's so beautiful.
Great, that sounds wonderful for you. What the fuck do I get out of that? Absolutely nothing.
If you beat us 4-0 home
Mate,
and away...
do you want to go and negotiate Brexit? Because you're near.
Yeah, if you guys beat us 4-0 home and away, I will wear a Man United shirt on the pod and set myself on fire.
Self-immolation. Wow. Yeah, there's a job for you in Tibet.
Maybe just set the Man United shirt on fire, Cookie.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I'll do that.
Pollution. Jesus.
Okay. Well, seems as good a point as any to say thank you very much to Ewan for being such a good sport. So it's a very good bye from him. He is from the Red Voice. Is that right?
So hold on a minute. You invited me onto your show. You contacted me through Twitter and emailed me, and you don't know the name of the show.
I just don't care so much. It kind of washes through me.
Fine. Yes, from the Red Voices podcast, Donny.
There you go.
Not that anyone who listens to this show is going to be listening to it, I would imagine, unless you win.
Oh, yeah, we'll be over there if we win.
Yeah, exactly. I'd imagine you will be.
Cookie?
Hello, goodbye.
Hello and goodbye from me as well. Come on, Leeds!
Go on, Leeds!
Most of our stats come from LUFC Stats or LUFC Data on Twitter. You should probably give them a follow as they're more interesting than us. A very special thanks to Adam Warner, Barney Stuart, Cookie, Ewan and Howard Metcalf, Josh Pearson, Laura, Leon and Rob, The Light Show, and all our family and friends.
So many games to play, don't care what's on your mind.